Welcome back. This is episode 5 of Tifosi Time, your go-to podcast for all things Serie A and Juventus, and three guys looking like they go to super cuts for their haircut. I'm looking at all of us here. So episode 5, and I'm sure you guys are shocked to hear we have not yet been syndicated or picked up by any national network. So it's still just the 7 or 8 people that watch this. So not yet, guys.
I don't know when the advertisers are supposed to start rolling in. I would assume we should have them already.
Well, we have some standards. We're not going to accept anyone. So, guys, advertisers, if you're coming in, any offer less than 5 figures, forget that stuff. So, anyway, I'm Frank. Say hello, guys.
I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I would like to say that our Twitter, right there on the side, tweeted over 5 times this week. So,
whoa. I don't think I follow them. I have to follow them.
I haven't followed that yet either.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
We will have to hit that up. Either way, I appreciate the graphics. So thanks to our amazing producer behind the scenes. I'm sure he'll botch stuff up a few times over the course of this, and we'll get a good laugh out of it. So really exciting week here, guys. I don't know how we're going to jam it all in with, no Serie A games, a couple of international friendlies that we can talk about, this new fake friendly / it counts tournament. We can talk a little bit about that, Italy national team, and basically anything else that comes to your head. I'm going to follow your leads on this one. So where do you guys want to open up?
So let's start with the Italy game, I guess, because that's the actual soccer that we saw. They had 2 games. The Moldova game, which was a friendly and didn't really count for anything. Really didn't count for anything. I don't want to talk about that game because that game 6-0, whatever. But the game versus Poland, technically,
wait, time out. Caputo scored in the friendly. Just a heads up.
Okay, yes, he did score. He scored in his debut. You were very happy about that.
Yeah.
And actually, Sassuolo has a few players on that team. Locatelli, Berardi, Caputo. So it's nice to see that they're represented on there.
Wait. In all fairness, I know it was a friendly and we can't read anything into a friendly and we kind of joke around about Caputo, but is it beyond the realm of possibility that Italy goes into the tournament this summer, assuming there is a tournament? Oh, sweet.
Look at
that. We got a Caputo Corner. Oh, man. Our producer owned his salary right there.
Don't encourage that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, what I was going to say is it not beyond the realm of possibility that Italy goes into the tournament this summer where they have, their defense set, their midfield with a solid rotation of players, goalie obviously is never an issue, and Mancini's kind of left with playing whatever forwards in form, and possibly that could be someone like Caputo a la, Schilacci back in 1990, right? I mean, who's to say, right?
Listen, right now, I 100% rather see Caputo up there than Belotti. 100%. It's not even close. So,
well, look, there's I don't know if there's something in their head. They seem to find ways to miss goals when they put that Italian national team on. Like everything that we used to love from forwards like Inzaghi, those guys that we call goal poachers. They just know how to be in the right spot and put the ball away, turn half of chances into a goal. Our forwards learn to turn full chances into nothing. Like it's really impressive. So I think we laugh now, but Caputo, even you could tell he had some nice movement, a couple touches that he had. He's definitely seemed sharper on his toes for sure. So I don't say anything's beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I still think Immobile's the guy, right? Like he's going to be the number 9, but I could totally see Caputo coming in and being that, that guy off the bench. I could see that.
Yeah, and Immobile probably is his spot, but don't forget, he had an amazing year last year. It's a long season that's going to happen this year. We don't know how that's going to play out, right? What if he falls back to 15 goals and he's out of form or he's injured? I think some things will happen over the course of the season. And I think if he's smart, he'll keep an open mind. And people like Caputo or maybe somebody else that we don't even know about, right? Sometimes in a tournament, it's about finding the players in their best form at the right moment for 1 month, right? So, and And like you said, he might not start. He might come in and score. Next thing you know, he takes his spot. And by the end of a tournament, if you have a good run, you've got 6-7 goals, and it came from a guy that you didn't expect. So I say throw him in here.
I'm glad you brought this up because this is something that I definitely wanted to talk about during this podcast. You cannot win the European Champions League, the European Champions Cup, whatever it's called, with Belotti as your striker. You're not going to win with him as your striker. So, and I don't think he is the striker. Immobile is the striker. Like, you're going to see Immobile play. First of all, Belotti, he's suspended for the next game, so he's not going to be in. But the plan was always to put Immobile in the game against Netherlands because he's the better choice. He's the better player. You know what you're going to get from Belotti. He is going to work his butt off. He's going to try his hardest. He's going to fight for the team. But as far as finishing, he's not going to finish for you. He's not going to put the balls in. And you need that for your striker. Caputo, I don't think he's the answer either. So I'm not on that corner that Chris is on. I don't think he's the answer. I don't have any faith in Immobile either, actually. So I think that's a big worry for the tournament next summer when it comes. Like you said, they have the midfield. I don't like the defense they even played in that game, the starters that they had, but they have defenders who can play. The midfield you're confident in, the goalie you're confident in, but the forwards, the wingers, they have options. It's just, can Mancini find the right fit? And right now, up top, it doesn't. I don't see it.
Hey, for the second half of the segment, you think we can get the lower half of your face, or?
No, come on.
Lower your camera a bit, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all about the content.
The angle is.
Now I'm looking at your boobs.
Yeah, well,
but it's all
they're large.
No, but listen, I think what you said to the point. I think it's going to come down to who's in form, who's not injured when it comes to the tournament, any tournament selection. But ultimately, I think it's going to come down to probably a team that's going to have to get goals from all around different players on the field. That's how much he wants to play. He's going to want to get goals from midfield like Barella, and if Insigne is playing, we're not going to necessarily have that Christian Vieri or that Trezeguet type number 9 that's going to score a bunch of goals. But even Keane, right? Let's forget about Keane. If he can settle somewhere and actually play, like that's someone. The few minutes he came on the field, you saw a distinct difference in terms of speed on the ball, being dangerous, right? Livening stuff up. And I know coming into second half, sometimes it's a little bit easier, but I think it is Immobile's job, but Immobile still has to prove that he can take that scoring touch from Serie A into the national team uniform. And I would not be surprised if someone comes out of nowhere. My thing, I don't care if you're 32, right? If Caputo knows how to take that one chance and score, and he's the guy that's going to do that, I'd rather have that than somebody who's going to find 7 ways to miss a goal.
But who? Think of the Italian strikers right now. Who's going there? Who's going to surprise you and has a possibility of taking that spot?
Well, yeah. I mean, right now, I think there are no crazy, I think that's what I'm saying. I think he expects goals from people like Insigne and outside of the number 9s, but and he tends to put guys in there that will fight for the team and move and create space for the team, and take some big hits there in the middle and take defenders. But that might be all he's stuck with, right? But we have to hope someone, either one of those guys, hit form, or someone emerges out of nowhere.
I can tell you where goals aren't going to come from. Chiesa. He is the worst finisher I've ever seen. I think his problem is he tries too hard. Like, he thinks too much.
Yeah, he's in his head. He's in his head when he gets like the net.
He just, I don't know. Open goal. He just totally.
He had the best chance of that one game that was set up. But you know what? So Chiesa may have a couple things going on, right? So Chiesa is either indecisive when it takes time to score, right? His head is clouded, like you guys are saying, or Chiesa sometimes does do a lot of movement, right? So I remember a long time ago, Dad used to talk about, players sometimes they do so much running that when it comes to that moment of clarity, they're just a little bit tired or off the moment where it's, maybe they blow the goal, right? So it always seems like he's getting to the opportunity a half a second late or off the balance is counter to where how he's positioned, or so I don't know if it's just a matter of the movement that he's doing is taking away that little bit of clarity in front of the net. I don't know if he's overthinking it. I don't know if it's in his head like a mental break, but I think his dad knew how to score, right? His dad knew how to score goals.
I think it's 100% mental.
It's me too. It's mental. He runs. That's part of his game. It's confidence. Anything you do in life, if you do it with confidence, you're gonna have a better result. And he doesn't do it with confidence.
And you can see too, like when he'll mess up, he'll like look over to the bench like immediately. It's like
100% is in his head. But I wonder at this point as a coach, right? Though it's like, and this will be interesting to see what they do on Juventus. This might be a good thing if he ends up being on Juventus and hitting some form and getting more confidence. That could carry to the national team. But I also think, something's got to be done with. It's very consistent that he messes up, right? Even at times where he does one or two nice plays where he dribbles, he'll mess up the final pass. It's like, I don't know if he's got to slow down a bit to be more concrete when it's decisive to score or make a pass. Right, so he's like full speed, and then all of a sudden it comes like he's trying to make the pass to the shot, and he doesn't have the technique or the stamina in the moment to always do it 100% accurate. I don't know, something. I don't think it's just that he's not talented enough to really basic chance.
The talent's there 100%. You can see it in that game. If you watch that game, he was the most exciting player on the field. He was doing the most. He was all over the place. He moved. He did things, and the results from what he did. Yeah, the results. I mean, he shot it wide. He shot it high. He missed easy sitter. But he makes things happen. It's his confidence. 100% his confidence.
Yeah, and in that game, if you think there was a few chances that fell to guys like, different positions like in and around the box that like took an extra step and didn't take the shot and then tried to like cross it back where they like instead of taking it one time with confidence, even if it fell to like Emerson, on the side one time, I think he came across. He was wide open, but like he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to attack it and shoot. I'm going to like take a minute." And the guy caught up to him, right? So I think that was a little bit of going around the whole team. But yeah, Chiesa, this has been something that's chased him around. And again, he's 22 years old, right? So this could be one of those things that you learn inherently from putting on that Juve shirt week in and week out in that practice jersey when you're practicing next to Dybala and Ronaldo, right? And you start to believe I belong, right? All of a sudden, look at Dybala, right? Like when he first came, he struggled to take his spot, and then all of a sudden you saw it click literally, where he was like, I don't care if I don't start. When I come in, I'm going to be dangerous. I'm going to score goals, and he created. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to Chiesa because Dybala is a better player than Chiesa, but I think mentally it's always interesting to see what happens when you're around champions on the best team. Do you get that mentality, right? Because the guy works, he runs. He's not a totally like he's got no talent with his feet. It's just I don't know what happens in front of the net.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he gets to that 18-yard box and he's just that mental block. He's got to get over that. But I think he will. Joining Juventus is going to help him. It'll definitely. He's going to learn a lot, and I hope he gets better around the net.
Yeah, but I think Italy. I mean, it's something that they've been saying, even the announcers around the lack of having a true, number 9 forward. And it's like, look, a lot of times Italy went into tournaments where they had a real forward, and those were the years they got knocked out, right? I remember there was one tournament, I forget what it was, where Vieri was just like on fire. Like he was one of the best forwards around. And I don't think they made it out of the group round, or maybe they made it out of like, the next round they got knocked out. And it was like, oh, that was if I had to put money on it, I would have said, oh, Vieri's going to be top goal scorer going to this tournament, right? And then other times, if you look at the 2006 World Cup, we had great players, but I think they had 11 different players scoring that World Cup, or I forget the number, but it was like
that was a team. That was a real team. That was
a great team. So you don't necessarily know what's going to play out in a tournament, but I do think they need to have some confidence, even if it's a super sub, right? If it's a 32-year-old Caputo that, hey, in the last 20 minutes he gets a half chance, he can score the goal for you. Like Quinta used to, like just different guys. Right.
So I'm thinking like my hope is Quinta. That's funny.
Who celebrates better than Quinta? I don't care if he got arrested.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he's in jail now. But
he used to play with freaking. I love that guy.
My thing is, I'm still on Zaniolo, even though he has 2 ACL injuries and all that. You hope that he's the guy off the bench that can give you the spark. Kane's on the bench.
But he's not number 9.
No, but I don't think they have a number 9, so they need all these other guys. If you read articles or if you see interviews with Mancini and with people that are higher ups in Italy, they say Pinamonte's the next guy, for the future. I don't see it. I don't see him as like anything I've seen him do for Genoa or any team. Like I don't see him being able to carry a team.
So far, he's like that's a little bit. Yeah,
they don't have the guy to be there, so it's going to have to be all these outside wingers and these people playing different roles because there's not that striker unless Immobile gets hot. But I don't see that.
Well, that's what you got to hope, right? If you have a good, solid team, they're going to have a lot of midfielders to choose from. They're going to have some options. It's just you're going to need one guy that, when he's on the field, 1 or 2 guys, they're going to put away their chances because Italy, how they always play, they're going to have a couple chances, they don't score, and then they give one up, right? Like
so they had 16 shots the other day, 2 on target versus Poland.
That was awful. It was so bad. Yeah. It's very frustrating to watch that. Other things in that game, I don't know if you guys saw the play of Bonucci doing his half-ass slide tackle and letting Lewandowski just get by it. Bonucci in the back, like I don't know what they're going to do for next summer for their central defense. Chiellini and Bonucci in the center, I don't think they can do it together anymore.
Well, unfortunately, I think you're right. I think they're not going to – I don't think they're going to dethrone those 2 guys because I think they're going to have their – unless they don't play on Juventus – they're going to be on the Italian national team.
Which is the captain right now. They're not getting rid of him.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to.
Chiellini, I don't think is going to play nearly as much as you guys think. I think he's kind of like.
Listen, I'm hoping on Chiellini because in form, I know what to get out of Chiellini.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Chiellini than Bonucci if he's fit to play.
As much as I hate to say this, and I know it's only been based on a couple games that I've seen, and I hate to say it, I'm impressed. I could see Bastoni getting a spot.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be on the team, I would think.
Because, if he plays the whole year with Inter and he keeps playing the way he played the first few games, he's young. He's got that strength.
I mean, they have Romagnoli too. He's there, but I don't personally have as much faith in Romagnoli as everybody else. I don't see him as good as everybody says he is, but they do have other players is what I'm saying. And do you stick with Chiellini and Bonucci? I wouldn't personally.
I think they're going to. If you want to, I think they're gonna stick with them because they're gonna play on Juventus, and and they have a lot of respect for those guys, and they do add something that besides just the lack of actual defensive talent that Bonucci has, they do add a little bit of a lot of experience, right? In those tough games, they're not going to get flustered, especially if you have a young midfield of like Barella, Zaniolo, Sensi, like all these young guys that are like, really young. You want to have some experience. I just think, they're not the top defenders if you're asking me that, right? It's not when we had Baresi and I'm like, woo, and Maldini and
no, that's not my point. Is I think there are better defenders than them two. Not that they're not on the level of Baresi. It's that there are defenders on the team that are better than them.
Well, who would you pick? So if you had to pick right now, who would you start?
I mean, it's hard to say. Right, Bastoni's played good. I mean, if he keeps it up, he would have a spot on my team.
Yeah, but again, I said the same thing, but caveat, right? Can he do it for now? If he does the whole season like that, you got to imagine he's going to be in that rotation. It's still going to be hard for him, because the thing they're going to look at, they like to play the group, especially in defense, right? So if they want to stick with Bonucci and let's say Chiellini's in form, they rather keep those 2 together a lot of times, right?
Or you got a Cherby too. You got to look at like they have good players. It's just
played decent for Lazio too. Like Lazzari played pretty decent in the last game that I saw.
Lazio, yeah, he played. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
but and on the wings they have Di Lorenzo, they have Spinazzola, they have enough wings. It's that central D. I don't think they're playing the right people.
Yeah, it's because it's the same problem Juventus had, right? Those 2 guys have been like kind of like we talked about with Pirlo, right? They've been the pillar for so long. It's like who's gonna and Juventus has De Ligt, right? They have Demiral, and we're still like, ooh, we wonder if they're gonna ever be able to take the spot. Like who? So I'm not saying it can't happen, but Mancini would have to show a lot of guts. And the problem is the defects that Bonucci's had. He's had them for years. He's never been a good one-on-one defender. His positioning is. If you notice, when Bonucci played without Chiellini, the defense was a lot more holes in it, right? A lot less airtight because Chiellini gave the strength, the spine, the defense there, so Bonucci could do his little aquatic dancing moves, right? Like, and show his ass, right? Like, and try to make long passes. So, like, together, there's, sometimes two together is greater than the sum, right? But you take them apart, and it's just like, whoa, like all defects come out.
For sure. I mean, Chiellini makes everyone better, so I can see why. And I want Chiellini to play. If he's healthy, he's good enough to play.
And he may not, right? We don't know what he's going to look like. You're totally right. Wait, how long is he? Like last year, he was out, came back to last games, right?
He barely played last year.
Yeah.
So who knows?
But who's part of that young guard? So there's Bastoni. Who else are we forgetting about in terms of young guys? Like,
I mean, Romagnoli, like I said,
he hasn't really, he's been in there for a while, but he hasn't taken that step either where I'm really like, ooh, him.
I'm sure there's other ones we're forgetting, I'm sure. There's Mancini on Rome. Who else? I mean, there's Caldara, but I don't think Caldara's he's nowhere near. Yeah, he's nowhere near international.
I mean, I was a huge Caldara fan, and he just is horrible right now. I don't know what happened to him.
You better hope he's not on the national team.
Listen, I hope he eventually learns to play, remembers what he was like, years ago. But
he's not. Did you hear? I thought I read this earlier. The U21 team, they like all have COVID, so like the U20 team is playing for the qualifier.
No, I didn't even hear that.
I'm pretty sure I read that. Like the U21 team is not playing, and the U20 team is going to just play instead.
For
who are you talking about right now? Juventus or Italy?
No, Italy.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, it's COVID's running rampant apparently through the league again. It's not just Genoa now. There's a bunch of other teams like Verona.
You think there's a chance they're going to have to shut down?
No, I don't think they're going to shut down. From what you hear from everyone is like, we can't shut down, we can't shut down, we can't shut down. And if they do shut down, I think they're really going to strongly consider some sort of playoff system to end the season. And I don't want to see that. So I don't think we're going to see a shutdown.
Well, I think they're in a financial standpoint, right? I think this is where I think a lot of these teams become insolvent if they shut down again. And that's what they're trying to – I mean, they know it's like every other league, right? Like they just want to get the games on because, some revenue is better than no revenue. I think they're at the point where they're like, look, we're just going to have to, you have people that can't play. They're just going to have to not play the next guy up. So.
You're just going to see it as that guy's injured and play on, and hopefully no one else gets sick from it, Yeah,
it's really going to come down to the teams, honestly, like testing these people and making sure that it ends up being one person or two people, not 20.
Yeah.
Right? That's the hard part. Are they testing every day? I mean, they should test every day.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's because there's a lack of testing. I think it's just very hard to police it and to keep it under control, just like anywhere, not just Italy, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
But the other thing about that is from what I read earlier today, I think I saw, I think they're going to make a decision on the Napoli-Juventus game on Wednesday, if it's going to be 3 points to Juventus, or if they're going to have to do the makeup game. I think they're going to go with the 3 points to Juventus. But what do I know? We'll have a decision on Wednesday for that, I think.
You're probably right, but the thing is, it's like any other league, right? Now let's put our marketing hats on, right? You have marquee matchups. It's like if you're watching baseball and you're like, oh, Yankees, Red Sox, or football, and you're watching Cowboys, whatever, 49, right? You have your marquee matchups, and anytime you take away any one of those matches, like the league as a whole loses. And, it just and then you give, people say, oh, well, look, Juventus got 3 points head to head. And, I don't know. It just, to me, it takes it away. Like you're so early on. I get it. They probably want to hold the line with the team because they chose not to come and they don't want to give that precedent to every other team. So they're in a tough spot. But, for me, just in terms of sport, I want to see every point earned or lost on the field. I'm not an Inter fan. I don't want Scudetti because they're taken away from other people.
Yeah, and it goes back to the whole protocol thing. Like, what's the point of making all these protocols if we're not going to follow it? So that's why I really do think they're just going to give them the 3 points because they spent all summer doing that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see.
What has anyone heard about Napoli's like defense? Like, what did they say? Like, well, why did we not show up? Was it just like we didn't feel like it? What? Like we had
no. I mean, they took it in their own hands and didn't really follow the protocol. I mean, they decided not to go.
Protocol meaning what though? Like how they prevented COVID or how they should have reacted?
No. How you deal with the situation if you have someone on your team who has it. They didn't do what all the team said you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, so I think they're going to probably end up giving the 3 points too, because otherwise you open up Pandora's box for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
I think
it stinks. Like it just straight up stinks. And I know my team's getting the points, but I'm like not interested in that, quite frankly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, Wednesday is the next Italy game versus Netherlands. Right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to that whole tournament because I don't even think it's a real tournament in my eyes. But I think Italy's top of the group.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't even know where the Netherlands is in the group.
So I don't even. So
yeah, the UEFA Nations League, that group thing, whatever.
Yeah. But, so what is the actual winners of the group?
There's only 4 teams in it.
In the group, yeah.
In the group. Winner of the group, what they get if they don't qualify, they get to be one of the third place teams.
I honestly don't even know.
I have no idea. I told you I don't take it seriously.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I know I didn't know it, and I just never really cared to look it up. But we probably should because I think it's something they're going to stick with. It's people care about it a little bit more than just tagging it as a friendly. But I don't know how exactly it breaks down in terms of. I think that's what I remember. It was like if you don't qualify, then you can be one of the third place teams if you win that group. I feel like.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't care about that. But if Netherlands. I mean, should be their toughest opponent. They played them once already, a few weeks ago, and they beat them. They played actually their best game, right? Italy played their best game of the last set of games. So hopefully we'll see them play well together.
We're looking at it here.
Yeah, I mean,
just 4 teams: Italy, Netherlands, Poland, and Bosnia.
Yeah, but what do the winners of the groups get? That's the thing.
Who cares?
Well, isn't it? I mean, it's all to tie into the European qualification.
Whatever, yeah, I guess, but
that's what it's for. I thought, right? So if you don't come out of your Euro qualifying group, I think there's something as a winner of the groups where you can play to get in as a third place team or something like that.
Well, first place is up for grabs Wednesday, 2:45 Eastern, ESPN Plus. If you got time, watch it.
That's $4.99 a month you can spend, people.
I'm telling you, not to plug ESPN or anything, but like, man, that is the best money I spend for any entertainment.
Yeah, for sure. It really is.
I can literally watch any game I want. And like I said, when we were younger, the only thing we watched is our Sunday game on Rai, and it sucked. It was in Italian. I barely understood it. Like
I missed the Italian announcers. I'm not gonna lie, even though
it was in SD, you could barely see anything. Like right now, you get HD.
The announcers were on strike every freaking week, man.
Yeah, there was games with no announcers.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just if you're an Italian soccer fan, like, you have to have ESPN Plus. All right.
Yeah, actually, our uncle. Remember when Uncle Santo came from Italy, and we were telling him he's not so good with technology, and we were like, "Oh, look what we have! We have ESPN Plus. We have all the games." Like, what the hell? You see more games than I do.
Yeah, he literally lives in Italy, and he can't watch as many games as us, which is crazy.
No, that's the best thing. I'm waiting. I don't know why they charge $4.99. I'm waiting for that to go up to like.
Well, it's gonna go up.
Whatever. Don't give me any ideas.
Hey, back the truck up, ESPN. We got a podcast right here for you.
All right. Well, let's move on. I think we talked enough about friendly games. Just a few things that went out.
Hours more to say.
Do we want to pull up the schedule for next week and we can see if there's any good games?
Yeah, let's pull some of that up, shall we?
Oh wow! Look at this. We got Saturday 9 a.m. Napoli versus Atalanta.
It's a good game.
Oh, look at that. Inter Milan.
There's some good games on Saturday, no less.
Those are good games. 9 and 12 on Saturday. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take the first game, I guess. Napoli and Atalanta. Two hot teams, two teams that are playing very good. What do you guys see as far as the outcome on this? Any predictions? Any thoughts?
You can go, Chris.
Yeah, Atalanta's going to win. They're my team. They're
Yeah.
just a straight up win. No, I love them. We all love them. Napoli's good. They're playing well, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be like 4-2 again, and Atalanta's just they're gonna do their thing. They're fun to watch, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a real challenge for Atalanta. Nice one of those moments to see, like, okay, you're off to a good start. You're playing Napoli, who's obviously going to be pissed because especially if they find out Wednesday they lost 3 points, right? They're rested early in the season because they haven't played. I'm gonna double down on Atalanta. I'm gonna say Napoli's gonna score. I think Osimhen's gonna create some challenges there for their defense for Atalanta, but I think it's gonna be like 4-3 Atalanta. I really do, and I think they're gonna win. Maybe if it was fans, maybe I would say a 3-3 tie, but I want to say 4-3.
I mean, it's hard for me to disagree because just of what a role Atalanta's been on. It'll be interesting to see. I think Ilicic is back with the team and training. I'm hoping they can get some more players back, even and be even stronger. But yeah, Osimhen is gonna give Atalanta trouble in the middle, and I don't see it as clear.
Could you imagine Caldara chasing Osimhen around?
I mean, if he's marking him, he's gonna fly right by him.
Well, I feel like because even the guys that are more experienced than Caldara, they're not fastest.
I feel like him or Romero are suspended, but I forget. I don't know. I feel like one of them is.
It's probably Romero. He gets suspended all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be as clear cut as you guys. I think it's going to be a closer game.
I said 4-3.
Okay. Well, Chris is very confident, but I'm going to pick tie on that one. Actually, I'm not going to pick a win because I do think Napoli's going to be pissed about that 3 points if they lose it, and they should be fresh, and they are playing really, really well right now. So I'm going to say tie.
Yeah, but also who's got the advantage in coach? Gattuso or Gasparini? I'm changing mine to 6-3.
I mean, I usually pick 6-2, right? A lot, but I'm going to pick tie.
They could very well lose, but I'm going to say Atalanta is going to.
No, I'm not going to pick a score. It's just a tie. So whatever, 4-4. Sure, score.
4-4. We'll definitely want to see that game. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Let's go to the next game. Inter versus Milan. What are you thinking on that one, Frank? So to give you a heads up, I mean, Zlatan was back in training. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's back in training. Inter. I mean, go ahead. Tell me what you think on those two teams.
Yeah. So
first place Milan.
First place Milan. If Zlatan plays, I think Milan's going to win. If he plays, I don't know if he's in form or anything. I just think it's going to be typical. It's going to be a hard fought game. It's totally two different teams, right? You got the youth of Milan, and you got all these experienced mercenaries that Inter bought. And it's like, and at first I think it's going to be Inter trying to impose their will on the game, right? With some of them, but if Milan can kind of like withhold the first 15 minutes and keep it close, I could see Milan winning 2-1. I think they're probably going to tie, but I think Inter drops more points here.
Well, I don't think you've picked Inter for any games all season long, so didn't see that one coming. I personally, I think Milan hasn't had a hard schedule this year. They got 9 points. They got 9 points versus relatively easy teams. This is their first real challenge. If they can pull out 3 points from this game, people really do have to start considering them as a top 4, maybe a title contender. Like this, they win this game, they're going to open up some eyes. So I'm interested to see. I think Inter's going to win.
We had them top 4 already. I think we both had them top 4.
We do. I'm just saying, like, yes, they're in first place now, but they've played not.
You're talking people outside of this podcast.
Oh, that's right. We are the only ones who matter and know anything about soccer. So
that's right. No, I agree. I think it's a show-up game for Milan, and that's why I think the derby, right? And the pressure is going to be on Inter more than on Milan, despite Milan being in first place. And I want to see the sweat start to come down from Kota's eyebrows. Oh no! And he's going nuts. I want to see Tonali making passes after he decided to get the 50-year-old.
Oh, dude, how great would that be? Like just scoring the winner on Saturday after passing on him.
That's my script.
I'm pulling for Milan, right? And, I'm pulling for them hard because I can't stand Inter. But I don't know. I could see this game get. I'm going to say 1-1 tie. Lukaku and Martinez, they're tough to stop. It's not like Inter's terrible, right?
Well, Romagnoli's back in practice now too, so hopefully he can step in.
What'd you say?
Romagnoli's back in practice now, so hopefully he can step in and he can play. Inter's getting a little bit healthier, which is nice to see. Frankie said that there's going to be pressure on Inter. There's pressure on Inter every single game. Like, it's not just this game. Like, they have high expectations.
Yep.
They spent a crap load of money. Their coach puts pressure on him. He's got pressure on himself. Like, you can't say that. You can't just say that for this game. Inter has pressure every single game, and you can feel it when you watch them. Like, sometimes they're so wound up and they're so – they play nervous. It's that's going to be all year.
Well, that's the energy that Conte brings to his team for good and for bad, right? So they come wound up, they come charged. But normally, a Milan Inter game, a lot of times Milan was the favorite back if you go back to the 90s, right? The bigger club, more successful club, and they're in first place. But this isn't a traditional year, like you said. They brought in so many players for Inter. They're a lot more established stars. They have bigger name players. Conte just kind of like, hey, put up or shut up, right? Like from his little like throwing a fit to like, okay, I'll stay. You got me everyone I wanted, right? Like you do not want to lose to Milan in this game, and I think Milan's going to come out and go, okay, like let's have it out on the field and see what happens.
I mean, that's the reason he only lasts about 2 years for every team. It's you can't be like that every single day, every single game. So. I mean, whether Inter wins it or not this year, I don't think he's lasting after this year.
I think he's done. I think this is his last year.
Well, the problem I have with him is you can be amped up I have no problem with making your team be amped up every single game and treating everyone like it's the most important. The problem is he doesn't handle adversity well, and he doesn't.
No, because he makes excuses.
Exactly. He doesn't take ownership and he makes excuses. So it's really hard to follow a leader of men when the hard times happen, you start looking around going, oh, it's not me.
Exactly, because then the players just start making excuses. That just goes down the line, and then you get headaches. And I think they'll get that this year.
And as the coach, you have to take the heat away from your players. You have to say,
he throws it on them.
This was on me, not say, oh, they didn't execute. It's on them, right? So, you want your players to go through a wall for you going, so you know what? If 11 guys screwed up everything that you told them all week, you come out in front and you say, look, I didn't prepare them the right way. You don't say, oh, I don't know what happened. They must have went out and partied and got drunk. They played it, so I just.
So here's the difference. He throws people under the bus. Gasperini, like he's a hard ass and people respect him. Even players who didn't get along with him, like Castagna, like he left because he didn't get along with Gasperini. But still, he said, I respect the hell out of that guy. Like, there's a difference between a coach,
exactly.
and a coach who's just, doesn't have the communication skills, and the leadership. I don't see it at least. So that's why he doesn't last long.
No, agreed. Anyway, I don't know if that's all going to come crumbling down in this game or not. And Inter may very well take the points, but I just think it's too easy to pick Inter, and I don't really believe in their project, right? I mean, I think it's easy to bring players that are champions, and anyone could do that. That's why I criticize Juventus for doing it. I rather, but I believe more in the project Milan's doing with younger players and, trying to build something. So I'm going to stick with Milan and laugh all the way if Inter loses.
You have to love, if you're a Milan fan, you have to love what they're doing as far as their personnel and their players. It's the right direction. Finally, after 10, 15 years of not having a direction, they finally have something.
And listen, Zlatan, I mean, we've said it before. I mean, the guy's old, but he makes a difference on that field. He gives a level of belief to the other 10 guys. He also puts his money where his mouth is, right? Like he plays with this ego and this like, hey, I'm great, but then he backs it up, when he needs, and he makes people believe they can win. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but it goes along.
And what's crazy about him is he was in the MLS like last year. And he can still play. Like he's legit. And he's playing for MLS 2 years.
I mean, how many years ago has it been on Juventus? Has it been like 15 years?
Oh, it's a while now. Yeah.
It's got to be.
It's unfortunate
before they went to Serie A, right?
Yeah.
He left the year they went to Serie A. So that's, I mean, how many years ago is that?
It was a long time ago. It's unfortunate for him that he played in an era with Messi, Ronaldo, and like these great players. Maybe he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves.
He was a superstar. I mean, I don't.
He was, but you play with those two, you're always like third fiddle. At the same time that they play. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. What else? What else is there as far as the game?
I mean, Juventus plays on Saturday as well. I mean, I don't know if you have to talk much about this game, but quick notes that I was reading this this week. Did anyone else hear the rumor that they were trying to figure out Sarri's contract so that he can go coach somewhere else? I was reading that.
If you followed our Twitter, you would know that I tweeted something out about that.
Did you?
Well, wait. Did you hear it from our Twitter? Did you get the rumor from our Twitter? Because we're not.
No, I did not.
Oh,
I did not get it from our Twitter.
All right, because we're not a reliable source at all.
Thanks for.
All right. Well, so that note, and then I was reading as well that OR, the French kid, they said that deal fell through because Bernardeschi wouldn't leave, and that pisses me off so much. Because he's a good player.
I didn't hear that one. What was it? It was going to be a swap for Bernardeschi, or Bernardeschi wouldn't leave to go anywhere.
I don't know. I don't know. All I read that was he was not willing to leave.
Well,
I don't know why this surprises you. I mean, you could look at it two ways, right? Either unwanted and you're a player, you should be competitive. You should want to go somewhere where you can earn your spot and prove your value, right? As a competitor, as an athlete. Yes. But then B, it goes back to, again, you can't just buy players, overpay them, not play them at all, devalue them, and then go, oh, shoot, please go away so we can now get somebody else. Like that spinning wheel will bite you in the butt. And again, am I a player? Do I owe you anything? Do I have to go make less money somewhere else? Or go play on some team where here I'm in the Champions League, I'm this, that. Maybe I feel like I'm still going to get my chance.
Yeah,
where do you want me to go play?
None of us know Bernardeschi. We don't know his motivation. We don't know his lifestyle. He might be perfectly happy with being the fourth string right winger for the team and to make his money and whatever. But
I think that's true, and I think that's part of the problem. I think he's satisfied.
I don't think that's true because Bernardeschi has been a soldier. He's played wherever they told him to play. You want to play underneath the forward. You want to play midfield. You want to play wing. I don't think that's true of him.
I don't think so either. I think on Juventus it's tough, right? Because you see yourself surrounded by all these established champions, and you have to come in with a little bit of respect, right? So I think these guys, they come in with the right intentions of, all right, I understand, like there's 23 great players here. I have to earn my spot. I can't, I have to be a good player, someone who fits into the culture of Juventus. And I think what happens is they end up, becoming the good soldier. And then that sometimes gets taken as someone who doesn't care. But then you have two ways to go, right? You can either get the point of, I'm so pissed I don't play, I demand to leave, right? Mm-hmm. And then the person's like, oh, he's a hardhead. Or you sit back and you just kind of hope to get your role. I mean, remember, guys, there was a year or two under Capello, I think, that Del Piero didn't really get his chance on the field. He always came in as a sub. He was the first one off all the time, right? And this wasn't like at the very end of his career. Like he had some good years after that. And I used to always talk about it with Dad. You go, and Dad used to get so mad. He'd go, no, he's got to stand up for his spot. And I'm like, he's trying to fit under the team concept of Juventus, right? And still, he knows he's a champion. He doesn't think he's a loser all of a sudden.
I agree with that. And I think Bernardeschi really has been a soldier. I just don't think he has the talent to be on Juventus. That's what it comes down to. He's just not good enough. I think when they scouted him and they put the offer in, they thought they were getting a different player than they got.
So I kind of disagree with you a little bit there. It depends on who you think they thought they were getting. Do you think they thought they were getting Dybala?
No, Chiesa. No. That's what I thought they were getting.
So so they were getting another version of Chiesa, and I would say that Bernardeschi probably could, with some more time and confidence, probably could give you equivalent to what Chiesa can give you, right? Give or take a hair either way. I think it was he didn't have consistency of playing. I don't think he had consistency of role either. And I think even So I don't know. What did you think he was getting? You don't think you were getting a 20-goal scorer. You don't think you were getting a number 10 Dybala, right? What were you getting that you didn't get? I guess is my question. Right? He's a wing. Right? He's a wing. That's essentially what he is. And could he be a wing that could be dangerous, play the ball quickly, make some crosses? Probably. He's never going to be the fastest guy just one-on-one on the dribble. He's not going to be the best guy in, covering space and defense. He's not going to be recovering a ton of balls. I think you got exactly what you bought. I think the problem is you bought him when they didn't need him.
And they spent way too much money for a person of that ability.
Listen, for me, he played one good game, Champions League game. They came back, won 3-0. That was his game. I mean, you get that every game, and you got his value 10 times. He was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's a champion. I'm not saying he is someone that should, be playing over other people. I'm just saying this goes back to Paratici. I think I think you can't say, oh, I didn't get the player I thought I bought. I think you got exactly the player he was. And you either overevaluate.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Bought him with no real place to play him, just saying we'll figure it out later. Right? Like, I don't know if it was really like, because who could you say? Could you say someone really beat him out for his spot? Who beat him out for his spot?
No, because but it's not like he hasn't had chances. They've tried him over and over and over. He's had his fair number of chances.
He played, but again, what were you trying to get at him? He played under Sarri, where everyone sucked.
To me, when I watch Bernardeschi, I feel like he's uninterested a lot of times. He's not even paying attention. To me, I don't know.
He definitely gets lost out there and won't touch the ball for an hour. But
I don't think he has clear vision of what movement they were asking him to do in the game, and I think that allowed that little bit of hesitation. I think sometimes made him less decisive in his movements or dangerous than he could otherwise be. Right? I think he ended up a lot of times floating off to the side and kind of standing here and making a pass backward for 5 yards, which it's Olivio, right?
That's coaching then.
How could you coaching? So to be fair for him, how could you have natural instincts and ability when you're not even clear what your role is or where you're going to be playing week in and week out? So I defend him on that. It's just
that's what I'm saying.
He's not as good as what they thought, and they overspent for it, and now they're stuck with him.
Yeah, so
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get a world-class midfielder because he won't move and make a change in his career.
Yeah, well, but I think so. We're all saying the same thing. I think it's, we understand why he hasn't been able to find his role and really excel in it. But I think also it's not, you bought what you got. You just didn't really have a clear, and that's why we have problems with the Chiesa move and these other moves, because it's like, again, buy the right guy for the right role in the right moment. Don't buy guys to collect them like baseball cards and go, I'll figure out a spot for him later. Right? Like, this isn't like buy shiny toys and then figure it out. Because then what happens? You get a coach and he's like, oh, well, I don't see soccer that way, so I'm going to play, anyone else above him. And now you got a guy that you devalued. And he's like, well, where am I going to go play? Crotone? Like, if he went on back to Fiorentina right now, I don't even think he'd re-find and be. I think he would. You don't think he would play and do his part on Fiorentina?
No, I think Callejone's going to play over him.
Oh, okay. So they just got Callejone free, but like if they didn't have, you don't think Bernardeschi could also produce some value to them? I mean,
listen, he's a top level player. Like he belongs in the league. He just doesn't belong in Juventus. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about Bernardeschi.
All right, so one last little rumor that people were talking about was the reason that Rugani went to Rennes, the French team, was to build that relationship to get Camavinga or whatever, the French kid, next summer, which I don't think is happening at all.
Okay, we just have our headline for the thing. Dom, for this video, Rugani key to moving. Put that as the title, please.
Yeah, that's 100% wishful thinking. There's no way Rugani will pull you any player. So that's the dumbest rumor I've ever heard in my life.
He's to build a relationship.
He's going to Real Madrid. That kid. He's not going anywhere else.
No, I agree. I'm just saying.
No, but things are. It used to be like that, right? It used to be. They would sell people when it was like a few guys running the whole thing. They would give a guy and be like, "We want first dibs on this other guy."
Yeah, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's not going to work with that kid. He's too good to be like, give me Rugani. Give me him.
As a team, you have to try your best. So I give him props for like thinking creatively and being like, all right,
I don't give Juventus that much credit. Sorry, that's a stupid move. And if you think that that's going to help, you don't deserve to have your job.
It doesn't hurt to try.
It was just a loan, right?
Yes, it's just a 1 year loan. Exactly. I mean, Juventus is just giving them a player. It's nothing.
But the whole thing is no, you're missing the point.
Never mention that to get on the podcast, or I'll ask you to leave.
The whole thing is to start talking. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you should be able to talk because you're two big teams.
But no, they're not big teams, though. That's the thing. Rennes isn't that big of a team. You want to have communication. Let me ask you a question. You like to work with people you like, right? Like, I don't know, build a relationship.
I think that's to a certain extent for sure. But I think also money talks, right? So at the end of the day, if one team bids $200 million, the other guy bids 50, but you like them.
I'm not saying
you send them a Christmas card, but you're not sending them your player.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying they're trying to think. I think.
Yeah, listen. If not, it was very good PR putting that rumor out there to make them seem smart.
And plus, Rugani's off the team, so whatever. That's good.
Yeah.
Going back to Sarri, you mentioned Sarri, possible buyout of contract or resolving that. The rumor that I saw was he possibly wanting to go to Fiorentina, or they wanting him, because we all know Iachini's there, and he's not one to he's usually there to keep a team floating, above relegation. I could see him getting let go. He rarely lasts more than a year, but Sarri to Fiorentina, that would be kind of interesting. He gets another chance. They got some players. It's just a matter if he can actually get them to buy into the system.
I have a hard time because, like, when I saw from Juventus, and I know Juventus is a different bird, and it's hard to tell people to play a certain way when you're Ronaldo and, World Cup champions and everything. But I don't know. Was what he got from Napoli like an aberration and by luck? Like,
you have to remember Empoli and then Napoli. It wasn't just Napoli. Like he didn't go to Empoli.
He was on Chelsea too, no?
Chelsea they fired him in a year.
But they won it. Didn't they win it the year he was there?
Well, he won the Europa League.
The Cup.
No, but he definitely had his headaches over there too.
They got rid of him. I mean, look.
It's just something to throw out there. I could see Camiso trying to get a bigger coach, and
that I could see
on that. So just keep that in mind.
Well, he wants a new stadium too, so maybe this is like,
Well, I don't think sorry.
New stadium. Mavinga. We're making things happen this week. I like it.
So I don't know. Is there any other games to talk about, Chris? I didn't see the rest of the list. Probably not.
Put that thing back up, producer.
The first two games are the most interesting games of the week, and after that, it's pick and choose what you want to watch. There's nothing else that really stands out.
Bologna Sassuolo game might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Boga is back at training too, which is awesome because Boga is their best player. I don't care how much Chris loves Caputo. Boga is their best player, and I would love to see him back. I miss watching him play.
I agree. I thought Boga was Italian. Are you kidding me?
He does some pretty crazy things on the field. If you see any of his highlights and the goals that he produces, he's really fun to watch. He's one of the most fun players to watch in the league. So hopefully,
what about that potential relegation clash of Parma and Udinese?
I don't think. Well,
Parma's got some players. Parma's getting some players. They are late transfers.
Beats up on Udinese this week.
So Parm, they got their new American owner. He must have said, "Listen, you're allowed to spend a little money," because that last few days of the transfer market, they did buy some players, and actually Udinese bought a couple of people too. I don't know if any of these people will play this week, but it's nice to see they actually spent a little bit, and hopefully they can right the wrong. But I don't know. We'll see. That doesn't interest me, that game though at all.
It was they pulled down the schedule for the 58th time as we were trying to use it.
I know. I mean,
nicely produced.
What do you want? I thought we were just talking about. We were going to pick the Sassuolo game. I thought.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, I'm going to say 2-1 Sassuolo.
Speaking of Sassuolo, I'm hoping Kirikesh. I don't know if you guys know the defender on Sassuolo, Kirikesh. He is freaking terrible. He single-handedly, last game that I watched, gave tons of chances up. So I'm hoping he doesn't see the field again because their defense is very shaky, but he's a big reason why.
He sounds like a potential Inter sign next year.
Not to pick on him or anything, but he was terrible.
He just did it.
Pipo is going to upset Rome this week.
No.
I can see it happening.
Come on. I love Pipo. Come on.
No. Now they're talking Dzeko possible contract extension after all that, possibly leaving and all that. They're talking.
Oh wait, so let's talk about the fallout of the Dzeko not leaving, the Milik thing with Napoli. So if I had this right, it was supposed to be Milik to Rome, Dzeko to Juventus, right? Dzeko doesn't go to Juventus, so Milik is stuck at Napoli. Now he's not even on their Serie A roster, correct? For the year?
Milik will rot on the bench all year. Yeah. He's not going to play unless they're forced to use him.
I don't think they put him on the roster. I don't think they registered him.
Unless they have major injuries or he does something for Gattuso, buys him like a Ferrari or something. Like he's not going to be on the field.
So he's that bad, though, that they didn't even put him on the roster?
Not that it's bad. It's the way he went about things and, really wanted off the team. Why would you play someone who is not believing in what you're doing and doesn't want to be a part of it? Gattuso, say what you want about him. He sticks to his guns and he has rules and he has beliefs and he's going to stick with it. He's not going to play all season.
No, I agree. I agree with that, but I don't think they have any intention of playing him. But I'm just like, holy crap, that went downhill fast.
It's going to be a lot like Rabiot with PSG when he said, "I don't want to do a contract extension." He didn't play. It's going to be the same thing with Milik. And Dzeko seems to have mended whatever was wrong over there. Maybe the new owner he got a conversation with.
They're going to give him cash. That's
he doesn't look good so far though, Dzeko.
No, he didn't look particularly.
I haven't seen him do well.
Dzeko was never there for his finishing. We all know that. It's everything else that he does. He misses some wide open shots too, a lot like Chiesa actually. Misses some sitters and some easy ones, but
he's a way better finisher than Chiesa.
Yeah,
he's no Tony though. I want the old school Italian forwards to come back. I just want them all to come back. Yeah.
You can write Yakinta a letter while he's in prison.
I will. I
don't even know if he's still in prison, to be honest. I just like that joke.
He might be in prison, I think.
He was, for sure, at one point.
What did he do again?
Tax evasion, I think.
Oh, that's not even a crime.
I don't know. Anyway, I think we're ready to wrap it up. There's not much to talk about. Hopefully we get some good games this week.
That's it? Half show. Half day for us.
I think this is our longest one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sassuolo Bologna. Either to Chris. What would you?
I said 2-1 Sassuolo.
Dan,
2-1. Do I really care about this game? I'm going to say 4-2 Sassuolo.
Well, we pick 3 a week.
I'm going to say 3-2 Sassuolo.
All right, Bologna's winning.
What did he say?
Bologna's winning.
Yeah, I haven't got one right yet. So,
Chris, how many goals for Caputo? Though? That's a real question.
At least one. At least. We'll see.
Okay.
2 for Caputo.
Delete his bogus plans.
And then I want an arrow pointing this way for the Caputo Corner next time.
That arrow will never be on me. Just to let you know, I won't be in that corner.
Close this up. Tell them when we're on next time. Let's go.
All right, guys. We're going to be on every Monday talking Serie A and Juventus and a whole lot of BS. So if you're still listening to this, hit the like button. It tells YouTube that we're not just talking to each other, and hit the subscribe button. And we appreciate it. Leave some comments below. And our new PR social media guy who does the Twitter account will answer you because
my God, our Twitter's blowing up. I got 1 like on a post.
You did.
It was from our producer, but I'm taking it.
We should quit while we're ahead. We should just retire right there.
It's really riveting stuff on there. I encourage you to sign up for it since you're on the podcast.
I didn't do that. You might have to remind me again next week.
All
right.
What kind of stuff do you guys cover on that Twitter?
Yeah, I'm not. No, we're done. See you guys next week.
See ya.
Adios.